Hello, welcome to another episode of Body Slams and Dropkicks. I am joined by my co-host Dean, and we're going to be talking about Clash of Champions.
The Clash of Champions has been and gone, and so now tonight on Monday Night Raw we await the fallout of it. So we're going to give our opinion on whether the results were the right or whether they were wrong. So start us off, Fraser. What we got? What we're going to analyze first?
I think we'll talk about the probably one of the first matches, or possibly let's talk Cesaro and Nakamura's match.
It's going to be simple for me. Cesaro and Nakamura should have retained. I think we both said last night they were going to retain, and they did. I think it's going to take a bit more than just a Lucha House Party to get them. I'm thinking probably something like a Heavy Machinery if they actually do have another tag title run. Maybe the New Day when Kofi's back. But aside from that, there's not really much I can say.
I want to see them get even with the Street Profits and like possibly pop up on NXT bragging about being the greatest tag team and that no one else should be holding any tag titles besides them, that they think it's a mockery. Like kick a story in like in overdrive with them, because Cesaro's getting better on the microphone. Nakamura can take on anyone and make it look like gold. So I think this is the best time to start utilizing more tag teams.
Even though there isn't much of a division left in WWE.
I think less is more if you know how to utilize it properly.
Maybe I should just go and ask Simon Cowell. He knows all about a little less is a little more. He did actually say that once on American X Factor, I think it was. Right, so what else was on the docket from last night?
The Intercontinental ladder match.
Now I'll be brutally honest. I haven't seen any of the matches at all, but I have heard a lot, and some are saying that the ladder match last night was probably one of the matches of the year, if not the best match in the Thunderdome. And not to mention Jeff Hardy took serious fall, which I have seen. But we did say last night a loss wouldn't really hurt Styles or Hardy, so I'm kind of I'm a bit relieved in a way, because I did say that this was going to be the last chance saloon, but then again, it did occur to me that was Intercontinental Champion, and then he stayed home as Roman Reigns did. So maybe winning the Intercontinental title was kind of like a like, we had to strip you of that title, so we'll let you have one more run at it. So is it fully deserved? I can't really comment, but do we think the right man won? Judging by what we said last night and what has actually gone on and what has come to light, I'll say yes.
Sami Zayn's gotten really entertaining, especially the approach he's been taking about the whole Intercontinental title situation. And I feel like this was to push Jeff out of the IC title division and get him going after the main belt, because he has expressed interest in turning into Willow again and taking on the Fiend.
And not to mention the fact that AJ Styles is still heel, so having him face the Fiend, well, if Fiend is being turned babyface, Styles could actually go up as well. But then again, we don't know what the plans are beyond last night at the moment.
And I think Styles and Zayn could work a pretty good feud off each other, especially with a bunch of the stuff they've both been saying, that AJ proclaims himself the true Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn is the Intercontinental Champion. So there's a lot they can work with, and both guys are extremely gifted with physicality. They can hit pretty much any ring spot. Like, Zayn can literally slide under the bottom turnbuckle and somehow hit you with a move. Styles can flip from anywhere or anything. So this could be one of the most athletic matches in a while for a championship.
It could be, actually. But we'll have to see. When I say we'll have to see where everything goes. What else have we got? So what was next on the docket?
We had the Raw Women's title match.
Well, I did say last night I think Selena deserved to win, but I did say I know she won't. So I'm going to say that Asuka winning was fair enough, and they did actually keep the rivalry open by having Zelina attack her afterwards, which will keep that feud alive. So I think Zelina should be champion at some point, because anyone who knows her work in TNA's Rosita knows she can wrestle a fair bit.
I think with Asuka as champion because of Becky Lynch leaving,
yeah,
Asuka's going to keep trying to prove herself that she deserves the championship and that it was more than her just receiving it because Becky left. And now that she's starting to lock her eyes on to Bayley because they have a lot of unfinished business.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of potential they can do. And with Sasha being inserted, it's pretty much a three-way battle.
Indeed. So, next match, sorry. Next match phrase.
Oh. Sorry, I was just responding to a message. The U.S. title match. Apollo Crews versus Bobby Lashley.
Well, I did say last night Bobby was going to retain, so I hate to say I told you so or I know it all, but I did tell you so.
Yeah, Bobby Roode pretty much was just, sorry, Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley, I'm never going to hear the end of that one. It should have been obvious from the start that he was going to pretty much win because the way they're booking the Hurt Business, they're going to be unstoppable for a while, and they're possibly going to start getting like any belt. I could see them possibly getting the tag team titles, like if Cesaro Nakamura mess over the Street Profits.
Excuse me. But then again, there is Retribution's coming, so maybe you can have somebody else join Hurt Business and have a full-blown rivalry with Retribution, which is how it has been looking for the last couple of weeks.
It would be really good. Like MVP, anytime he has the mic, like you got all eyes on him, and he's always been that way.
Yeah, he could actually, if he was a lawyer, he would win you literally every case that you actually going to give him. He is literally that good. So what do we think going forward? Obviously, I think Apollo, as far as that title picture goes, is done. So maybe we could have a Ricochet step up in his place, maybe, but I think that would be too much of a squash match.
I would like to see Ricochet battle his way through the Hurt Business. Like Shelton Benjamin is a phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
Guy's great at everything. So I would love to see Ricochet and Shelton Benjamin duking it out.
Then again, they could actually do that. We could probably do that tonight, actually. It'd be a case of if you beat Shelton Benjamin, you can actually take on Lashley. So that might work.
And then next we got the Raw Tag Team titles, the Street Profits versus Angel and
Andrade
and Montez Ford.
Oh, excuse me. To be fair, I kind of knew the Street Profits weren't going to lose the titles, regardless of what actually has happened to Angel Garza. And if he is listening, we wish him a full recovery from I think it's a hip injury. I'm not too sure, but we wish him a speedy recovery wherever he is. I suppose the question now is, now that we both sort of predicted that was going to be the outcome of it, what could we see for the Raw Tag Team Champions? Because there's not really. I don't think there's that much. I mean, the Viking Raiders, one of them's out until next year, so literally they are no good to anyone. You could have the Hurt Business, I suppose.
I feel like the Hurt Business will pick it up, like Shelton MVP or Shelton and Bobby Lashley.
It depends. The only thing is with Lashley, yes, he would be a good fit, but I don't think I want to see another double champion, because we've just had the whole Becky 2 belts and the Bayley 2 belts and the Banks 2 belts. I don't really think a Lashley 2 belts is really needed or wanted at this point. So my money would actually be on Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin.
They'll probably pick it up, which would be really good. Or I could see Cedric going down and getting like the cruiserweight belt.
Could do that.
And then MVP and Shelton getting like the tag team titles.
To be fair, MVP does deserve some bit of silverware on him, or some bit of gold, I should say, because he just do a lovely job. He does a great job.
The tag titles do heavily need a refocus, and I would like to see the Street Profits drop them and chase Nakamura and Cesaro around for them, because it's been entertaining so far, and there's just so much potential. And with a lot of the teams out, they're either gonna have to start putting teams together or figure something out.
To be fair, we don't even know what's happening. I mean, there's been talk of the tag team titles being unified, but we just don't know. So
they've done that not even that long ago, so it just seems pointless to bring another set and then combining them.
And I think this is the trouble with the tag team division. There's always two sets of belts that get unified, and then they ununify them. So now I think personally we're at the point where they need to be unified, whereas back then they weren't. But I think they should be unified and basically stay unified and have like a tag team title for all the brands, because NXT, fair enough, NXT you could say needs its own tag team titles, but at the same time you could actually say that maybe NXT is in the same boat as Raw and SmackDown is. But then again, we just don't know. We don't know what goes on in WWE management's thinking caps, to be honest. So moving on from the tag title scene, what we doing next?
Bayley's SmackDown Women's title. She issued an open challenge, which was answered by Asuka.
I was actually quite shocked at that, but then again, I shouldn't be too surprised. But we did say that whoever got the shot, it would be a disqualification. We did say that last night, and we kind of knew it. But I don't really think. We did sort of say that Sasha might get involved, but we didn't know if she was there or not. So can't really say I'm too shocked on either count, to be honest. That Bayley did retain and that Sasha was there and she did attack her, so not really surprised.
Honestly, I feel like one of the Riot Squad members should just open the challenge. Their match got canceled, and it would have been a good spot filler. They could have had them come out and one of them accepts it, or both of them accept it, give us a really good triple threat.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they're moving away from Asuka a bit. With if Sasha's going to be back in the ring and pummeling her, if anything, they could have had like Sasha just show up, like watching Bayley from a monitor, like leaning on the guardrail, like looking tense as the match went on, like being like it should be me in there fighting her for the belt type thing.
Yeah. So we haven't got that much left. So what have we got left? Is it the two I'll say the world and the universal title matches?
Yep, we got Drew versus Orton, and we had Reigns versus Jay, but I kind of would like to save Drew versus Orton last.
We'll make it the family title match then, shall we? He did. I will say congratulations to Roman Reigns. He has officially ditched his SWAT vest for the first time in his career. And I did actually watch WrestleMania this morning, and even he was saying how badass Roman Reigns looks with his, with his chiseled body look and no SWAT vest.
I really like this repackaging of Roman Reigns. Like, this is something that should have been done a long time ago.
I think I wonder if they've looked at what happened with John Cena and then thought, we've been shoving everyone down his throat. Maybe we shouldn't have. We've given him a bit. He's obviously took time off for leukemia. He's got in everyone's hearts. He's gone away again. So maybe instead of doing what they did last time, they brought him back, repackage him as a heel and see what he can do. And I don't mean for this to sound very kayfabe, but I really hope he stays heel for the rest of his career because he is. I think he's absolutely brilliant.
He's got it down. He also has the size for it. He's got the hard-hitting moves, so he has a ton of believability on his side. Yeah. I would like to see him like ditch the rest of the gear, like maybe rock trunks or like shorts or something. Like just change it up completely to make the character feel completely different.
Yeah,
because a visual, like what Dan was saying when he came on about like different gear and visualizing them.
I'm not sure if he'll have the trunks because I think he's not a big fan of them. I mean, to be fair, if I was a wrestler, I wouldn't wear trunks. Maybe change the trousers, maybe just sort of like a different design. Maybe like say what Magnus has, but not the
Yeah,
same
something
ones
like
though.
Magnus has would work
Yeah,
really well.
but obviously the whole SWAT thing that he's had for the last 7 years, I think all of it needs to be getting rid of. So hopefully some new, well, I say trousers, but it's more like a pair of pants, isn't it?
Pretty much. I think little by little we'll start to see like physical change in Reigns, like from different gear and the things that he wears, and the character will feel a lot different. Like when we saw Brock start to change his look, came
Yeah.
back, had like the MMA shorts and everything.
Just so you guys are anyone who's in America who kind of does wear pants are like underwear in England. So that's why I'm trying to. That's why I said trousers, just so it's safe.
But
Not
he
good.
wrecked
Yeah,
Jay. Like
he did
this is what
absolutely.
I've been saying needs to happen. Like family has been discarded. It's
Mm.
all about Reigns, and the fact that Jimmy had to come in and like throw in the
We're in the
towel.
towel.
Say Jay, I feel like that's gonna put tension on the Usos because Jay probably would have rather been pinned and had to end like that than give up.
But then again, he might get a world title shot down the road, or he might get a universal title shot down the road, or maybe even a intercontinental title shot when he said, "Right, my cousin threw in the towel. I didn't. I want another title shot." But it doesn't have to be a universal one. It can be an intercontinental one.
But this really did set the standard for Reigns. Like it
Yeah.
shows how different this character is, and if you're going in there, you better expect hazards.
I also think that when everyone has a starting point of their character, whereas with Roman, you've actually started off with someone like Jey Uso. You haven't started off with someone like say the Fiend, or you've started off with Braun Strowman. So literally, the bar has been set up. I mean, no disrespect to Jay when I say this, but you could say the bar has been set quite low. So therefore, any other matches he has in future can be considered bar raisers.
You know what I like to see of Roman? If they're really pushing this whole like him being the man, I could see him in Lucha Underground like being that guy sitting like in a throne type thing, like
Yeah,
in a room with like a window, like looking down, rocking the belt, and like whenever he walks through there, you see like the crowd split because like you don't mess with Roman.
yeah. Probably what King Corbin should have been, to be honest.
That's what Corbin could have been.
No way in WWE has imagination, though, do they? Not really.
Uh, I think Roman Reigns is the best direction in a long time.
Yeah. It was nice to have the final member of the Shield actually go full heel, which is nice. Although, to be fair, I still don't forgive WWE for making Dean Ambrose turn on Seth Rollins on the night Reigns said he had leukemia, because that was kind of like the worst thing that they could have done.
It was a dick move, and even
Yeah,
Moxley wasn't too happy about it. But I think we've seen the evolution of the Shield, and they've all parted ways, and they've been huge
yeah.
successes. Like with the Messiah gimmick that Rollins is doing, Moxley with the Ronin gimmick, and Reigns with the he's calling him like
Tribal
the chief,
chief. Yeah, the
the
tribal
tribal chief
chief. Yeah.
now. Like I feel like both guys are now being utilized to their full potential, and you're seeing like why these three were such an unstoppable force together.
Right, so that leaves the Universal title match, not the Universal title match, sorry, the WWE title match between the champion Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton in an ambulance match, which we didn't know. I must clear that up. We didn't know it was going to be an ambulance match last night, but we do now. So, like I said, I've seen bits and bobs. I haven't seen the entire thing. I think you've watched it all, haven't you?
Most of it. It
Yeah,
was good, especially the way Drew put away Orton. And I love how it's symbolic. They both have sent each other into an ambulance.
yeah.
So if they're feuding after this, I could see the stakes getting higher and higher.
Didn't McIntyre kick off an ambulance door with a claymore?
I think he did that and then he punted Orton at the end.
Yeah. To be fair, you could have another match down the road, but the only problem is Orton's had what, 3 title matches?
I think more so this will be more about who the true apex predator is in the
Yeah,
WWE than just the belt. I feel like Orton more so it's going to be about revenge
yeah.
than the belt itself because now that Drew's dropped so many people, he's looking more like he's being booked strong. Roman's being booked strong.
Yeah.
It's eventually gonna end with Drew and Roman possibly like throwing down against each other.
Yeah, that has actually. I think I've heard something about that. But yeah, I've got to
But
say, I think personally, I think Randy should have a break from the title picture for a bit. Because no offense, he is Randy Orton, but even he can go so long without with either winning the belt or going 3-0 against someone. So I think maybe take him out of the title picture and give somebody else a crack.
I would
Maybe
like to see Otis start to get built up because I could see Drew like challenging Otis for the MITB case.
we need to actually have something about that because at the minute I don't even know where that's going. There's supposed to be a lawsuit which was reminiscent of Shawn Michaels having one back in the 90s, but they really need to decide what they're going to do with that belt because it just seems like they have no idea what they're going to do with that Money in the Bank briefcase. They really don't.
And Otis has been really entertaining, and I feel like at any time if him and Drew would go at it, I don't think Otis would beat Drew, but I think that'd be the match that would make Otis.
What we there's a draft coming up. We have actually found this out since last night. There's a draft is on Friday, October 9th, which is let me just check. It's what, a week and a bit? It's a week and a half, isn't it? Near enough.
It's pretty much next week on a Friday.
So a week on Friday. So technically, Otis could cash in that on draft day. On a draft day. It doesn't have to be Friday or Monday. It can be either. So to be fair, I don't even know what the plan is. They don't really want to do another Seth Rollins heist of the century at WrestleMania because that was just special and that's been and gone. I personally would like to see that. Would like to see Otis win a belt on draft day because that would just be so great.
I think Otis cashing in at the draft would be perfect. We don't really get those cash-ins anymore. We usually just get like they wait till the guy gets picked off. We don't really get like the straightforward challenges like Rob Van Dam did, like Damien Sandow did, Cena did. I would like to see like just a straight up challenge instead of just like that quick cash-in seal.
It's kind of like everyone knows Hernandez, who was in Impact and TNA. He actually won the Feast or Fight World title briefcase, and he actually said, "I'm not going to do what everybody else does." I think it was like a 5-way. I can't remember which pay-per-view it was, but I think it was him versus Matt Morgan versus AJ Styles versus 2 others. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, that's kind of going on the same subject. So it might actually be refreshing because I think with ratings being as low as they are, they could do with a bit of a refresher course in a lot of things. So shall we make a prediction that Otis could cash him in on one of the days, be drafted to Raw and reunite with Mandy?
I would love that personally. When they split up, I would have loved if it was on draft day. If it was the Viking Raiders versus Miz and Morrison, and Otis gets pinned, like he just comes up short, gets rolled up into a pin, and then we see like Mandy's in their corner, and we see the screen showing everything, and then bam, and he gets drafted, and we see like Morrison and Miz like celebrating and like laughing at him, and then we have like that emotional moment, the team in the ring, like emotionally saying goodbye to each other, and then we see Otis like turn his direction back to the Miz and like now everything's a lot more personal. I feel like that would have worked so much stronger in the story. Like when Matt and Jeff got pinned and then Matt got drafted to the ECW.
Yeah, I remember that. What would be funny is if they drafted Tucker to War as well in the same either in the same draft or the next night's draft.
It would have been kind of funny because like if that was for 2 draft picks and like they took everything away from Otis and he just has like the MITB case left and like Miz and Morrison are just gonna continue making his life hell, like locking him out of arenas, like slapping him with the lawsuits. Like remember when Edge did the thing mocking Mick Foley?
Oh yeah.
Having like, do you want this stinky smelling guy in your living room? And just showing like stuff out of context, like Otis lunchbox stuff, and them pulling up the apple cores, like just full on like making fun of him and him chasing Miz and Morrison, getting locked in like a cage backstage or security get involved, and, like until he finally just like shows up in the Miz hotel room and just starts clobbering him there.
Oh yeah, there is one thing we should suggest and mention is that we've had a lot of trades from Raw to SmackDown, and they were actually traded not for superstars, but for but we don't actually know what we were being drafted for. It was kind of like future considerations, wasn't it?
Kind of. And
So I
lately they've just been
wonder,
switching guys
yeah.
too. So
So I wonder if that's going to have an effect, or if they're just going to do like they've done with the Iconics. They split them up and then literally had them back together the same night. So I'd be willing to put good money and even a Killer Cross T-shirt on the fact that they won't bring up those considerations from when AJ Styles got brought over, when Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss got brought over. I don't think they'll be mentioned.
probably not. But I feel like there's so much more story potential that they could have held off on until the draft finally happened. You know, I miss the days where they would do the slammies, but
Yeah.
match. I miss the days when I would watch Raw or SmackDown or NXT, and it's always pushing the envelope where any one of those matches could have possibly been match of the year. And I miss those days. I don't want just like decent matches up until a pay-per-view. Like I want amazing matches from the main shows all the way to the pay-per-views where at any time any match could be match of the year. And I feel like that's been lost in translation.
Maybe we should give Austin a call.
Maybe.
Yeah. Just so everyone's aware, we actually are in an EFA group, and Austin is the guy who, well, he does everything literally. He books the matches, he writes it himself, and he's always challenging himself to up the bar because he's gone to us number. He's gone to, or not just us, but he's gone to everyone. It's kind of like, right, I really can't do better than I did because I just can't top last week. And we're just like, it's all right, it's all right. We don't expect you to do miracles every week, but he's constantly pushing himself to do better. That is what WWE could do with. I mean, remember Attitude Era where every match, every night was at least some dose of epicness in it. But now we don't get that anymore.
We need that to come back. Like we need everything at the top of the game. Impact's the perfect example when they showed up on Spike, and you have Danielson, Styles, and like Joe, Amazing Red, Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley. Like those guys are always pushing the envelope, and that's why the X Division became such a special thing. And a lot more companies need to push, like constantly be at your best, give Russell every match like it's going to be your last match ever.
Shall we end it there because we might have a bit of business to sort out? Shall we end it there?
Yeah, we can end it here.
Yeah, right. Hopefully we'll be back either very soon or on Sunday. So from both of us, very quickly, we will say thank you for watching and goodbye.
Have a good night, and thank you to everyone who views us.